Hello there folks, and welcome to another episode of Showing Off OpenTTD. Before we start, I'd like to thank you all for giving feedback and showing interest in the channel. When I uploaded the last episode, I honestly expected to receive 20, maybe 30 views, so Alex and I were completely blown away by the response the video received. It's currently at 350 views as of writing this script, so again, a big thank you to all. Anyway, as you may or may not remember from last time, we got our company, Long Distance Shipping Co., off the ground and started to transport goods and passengers between a number of different places. We're active in the towns of Wandinghattan and Chindinghattan, Aberdeen and Penfingley Market to name a few. We also had our three competitors, Foxes, Bourbons and Chutneys, to keep us busy. We'll begin this episode in the town of Aberdeen, where we'll be making bus routes both here and in the two neighbouring towns of Brunston and Fenningwell. This will help us to gain a foothold in the area so that we can build a shipping port. The only ships we've seen so far have been used to move coal along canals, so I think I'll mix it up a little bit and get a ferry to move passengers between these coastal towns, as well as the oil rig down in the corner of the screen there. Once this little fella is set up, we'll move on to... Oh wait! This oil field is huge! How did I not notice this before? If we can get this moved to a refinery, we'll be rich. The closest refinery is quite far inland, so the only choice I have is to get this oil to the coast, and then to move it over to the refinery by train. I'll get a network built, and I'll connect this small oil well on the way there for a bonus income. 3 trains and 6 oil tankers is quite a hefty investment, but I'm sure it will make up for things in due time. I'll leave the trains at the depot for now to allow the oil to build up before we start moving it. Next on our to-do list is to build an airport in Aberdeen. I think we'll use a fancy metropolitan airport as it allows for 2 planes to land and take off at once, which is much better than the single runway a standard airport offers. I'll upgrade the Wandinghattan airport to a metropolitan as well, as I get the feeling it's going to become a busy central hub in the near future. In fact, I'll build a second airport just in case, because everybody needs a friend. We're going to buy some new planes to connect the towns, and would you look at that? We can afford some fancy Concords. We only deal with the finest here at Long Distance Shipping, and with their supersonic speeds and comfy seats, these beauties will fit right in. While we're at it, I'll build one more airport in the nearby town of Funway. Bourbon and Chutneys are already there, so we might as well join the party. Oh, I almost forgot. I still haven't built a HQ for our company. I'll plop it down in our beloved town of Wandinghattan next to our new airport. How nice, a happy little building for all of our capitalist needs. Checking back on the oil fields, our station has plenty of oil for our trains. I'll let them free and see how much money we make.
Hey, that's pretty good.
We're now going to expand on the network so that we can deliver the goods to Friendly Market, which I'm sure they'll appreciate. Speaking of goods, I remember that I forgot to move the goods from the factory at Slundington Woods, so I reckon now is a good opportunity to move them to Friendly Market, seeing that it isn't too far away. I'll make the station a little bigger so that we can fit in another train, and... Oh. Friendly Market authorities won't allow this? What do you mean they won't allow it? I'm bringing them goods. Surely they love me. Very poor? What do you mean, very poor? All I did was build a train station in the middle of your town. What's to hate for? Do you guys not like the fact I'm delivering all the cool stuff to you? Well, I see how it is, you cheeky bunch of I think we should try looking in the upper section of the map in order to look for our next project. We've only really worked in the middle so far, so expanding outward to find new opportunities might be a good idea. Oh, hold on. Who's this? A new competitor? Trader Dave's. Doesn't really look like much. It's probably a local construction company or something. Wonder if there's anything interesting nearby. Oh, another coal mine for us. And a power plant nearby just to boot. I wonder how we're going to get the coal between the two, though. No. We've already used that gag. Well, you can probably figure out what I'm going to do here. I'm going to build a small canal between the coal mine and the power plant, and, well, let the ship get to it, I guess. Not too far away, I've spotted a steel mill and an iron mine. At this point, you can probably guess what I'm going to say. We're going to build a train line between the two. I'll just check how many wagons we'll need for the train, and I'll... This is probably why all those adverts say, always read the label somewhere in them. Well, this has left us in a bit of a pickle. I've got a train and hardly any goods, so I wonder what I'm going to do. I can't use the trucks, as they'll take too long, and I can't use the train as it will earn less money than it takes to run it. Can I send this steel anywhere? Thankfully, yes. There's a factory not too far from the steel mill, so here's the plan. I'll take the iron ore to the steel mill, then the steel to the factory, then take the goods made from the steel to a nearby town, in this case, Bunway-on-Sea. Which, by the way, isn't really on sea, more like on lake. All of that with one train. That should make us plenty of profit. I'll get to work on the network, and we'll be making money in no time at all. We're going to stick with the theme of trains and head...
Watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now...
And there we have it. One rail network for a small train that is supporting an entire industry. Smashing! We're going to stick with the theme of trains and head on over to Whitby. When I found it earlier, I saw a chemical plant just next to the town, and just across the map from here is yet another oil field. These things just keep on cropping up. There's so much oil around here. First the oil fields down in Aberdeen, and now this. With all this free money lying around, I'm amazed America hasn't already paid a visit to look for weapons of mass destruction. You can probably guess what I'm going to say right now, and yes, bish bash bosh is once again another train network. We've got a few ships bringing oil over to the station on the coast, and our trains are going to be taking all that oil to make us some lovely goods. All I've got to do now is to get the goods into Whitby with a parcel service, and we're good to... Let me guess, you're friends with those Frondley lot, aren't you? Bunch of train-hating Luddites. I guess I've got no choice but to leave those crates there until Whitby starts liking me again. Oh well. I'll make one more train line to move some oil to the chemical plant at Vanpool before moving on. I remember in the last episode I mentioned a factory in Fenwell, and that I would work on moving those goods to towns this episode. Well, I'm going to do that now before I forget, my mind being like a sieve and all that. What? Have my customers been turned against me? Have they been corrupted by the forces of chaos? Who dares to steal my loyal wallets on legs? Fox? Such thievery! What shall I do? He's pitched my customers. How am I supposed to earn them back? Oh. That was easy. Now that Mr. Fox has been officially promoted to customer, I can get back to work building a few more stations so I can move goods and passengers from Fenwell into Fort Winningville. We've got about 2,000 excess goods crates to move, so that should provide us with a tidy income for a few years. After a hard day's work, I think this is where we'll end today's episode. We've become somewhat of an oil tycoon in this episode, given the very odd spawns of all these oil fields. I don't know if this usually happens in the game, but I for one have never seen so much oil suddenly appear all at once on a map this size. Our rail networks are making a great deal of money. I mean, look at this, we're millionaires! Half of our trains are making 80 grand a year, it boggles my mind. Even this little one with... Oh, that doesn't seem right. Only £1,000? Why has it done that? The oil wells are still here, so it should be loading with... Bit odd. Well, anyway, that's all I've got time for in this episode, so I hope you've all enjoyed. Feel free to like and subscribe and whatever, and I hope you have a nice day. Now, if you don't mind, I've got all these vehicles to sort and group.